Let us start the session. Hello, once again. My name is Ankur Goyal. I am a practicing CA based out of Bangalore. I specialize in taxation, auditing, ERP implementation, and accounting. I have a sector experience of IT, hospitality, e-commerce, and manufacturing. The next one being GST and customs. Now, GST and customs is a more impacted taxation because it's an indirect tax. So even though when people say that, I only pay tax, the other person doesn't pay tax, when they say that, they mean that they're talking about income tax. At the end of the day, every individual in this country ends up paying tax in one way or the other. So the moment you go to a grocery shop and you buy a packet of Maggie and you are the final consumer, you have paid a tax to the government. So GST and customs is a very high source of revenue for the government, and to ensure that the GST registered taxpayers and customs related taxpayers are not affected, they have brought in lot of benefits. So let us go one to one. The first one being the due date for your regular GSTR 3B and GSTR 1 return has been extended for the month of Feb, March and April. Please note, if your turnover is more than 5 CR, in that case, even though the return is still extended for you, you are liable to pay an interest rate for any delay payment. In this regard, a grace period of 15 days will be given to you. So originally, let's say if by 20th of the next month you are required to make the payment, government is giving a benefit that you can make the payment even after 15 more days, but after that the interest will start. Again I repeat, this is only in case your turnover in the preceding financial year is more than 5 crores. For any taxpayers whose turnover is less than 5 crores, in that case they can make the payment, file the return and ensure the regular compliances by last week of June. Then if you are in a business where composition scheme has to be enabled, so every taxpayer is required to opt for the composition scheme before the starting of the financial year. Even the due date for that has been extended. The next one being, now again this extension, my fellow professionals will definitely be knowing that this work was supposed to be done last year, but this is getting extended again and again, and this is nothing but the GST annual return. The form GSTR 9 and 9C for the financial year 18-19 has again been extended from 31st March to the last week of June now. So please ensure that you are in time to file the annual returns, because it has again serious implication for non-compliances, and we all know that how bad the portal is of the network, GST network. So let us not wait at the last moment to go ahead and file the returns. And the next one is PMT09. This is a very recent change, and this is a very long fight that all the taxpayers, professionals have been doing. Basically, in a nutshell, this means that in case you make an incorrect credit to your cash ledger in GST under the wrong heading, earlier there was no option for you to transfer the funds from one ledger to another. For example, you were required to pay an IGST of rupees 1 lakh for the month of April. While making the challan, you by mistake selected CGST or SGST, and the payment got credited also into the account of your GST. Now there was no option for you to transfer the funds from one heading to another. Now imagine a small error like this can have a serious implication on the cash flow of MSME and even large corporates, depending on the payment size they cater to. Now the form PMT09 has been enabled on the network. Basically, this form enables for you to seamlessly transfer the funds from cash ledger. However, another point to be noted, the transfer of funds can only happen in the case of cash ledger. This is not allowed in case of the input ledger. So if you are having a carry forward of input trade balances, those cannot be shifted from one heading to another. Just like your GST annual returns, another return scheme which was again required, supposed to be implemented by November 19, has again and again be extended. Having said that, this is a complete change in the return filing system. So by October onwards, the system of 3B, GSTR 1, GSTR 2A, everything is going into a major overhaul. The new return scheme, that is RET 1, 2, 3, Annexure 1 and 2 are going to be implemented, and it is a very major change The government has done a good job in releasing a beta version of the return filing scheme online. So you have the option to logging into your account and you can try the new scheme. In our case, we were ready by October 19 itself because the information was given in the implementation last year itself. But since it has been extended, however, we are ready with the new scheme and we request and suggest all of you guys to also ensure that you are also ready for this new. Continuing, again, same in the line for the income tax, the time limit for filing the appeal and the various compliances under the Act has been extended. And the next one being the restrictions under Rule 36(4). Now, what is this rule? This rule basically says that your input, the restrictions under 36(4). So basically, in case your vendors are not filing their returns on time, then your trade can be blocked. So the government is obviously aware that everybody will be filing their return a bit late. So this rule has been relaxed. Having said that, in the month of August and the September, please ensure that your previous month's data is reconciled in a together form in a cumulative manner. So even though this rule has been relaxed, that doesn't mean they're taking out this rule completely. So it may so happen that in the month of September, when we all file our returns, and in case our vendors have not done their GST compliances properly, our credit in a lump sum amount may be blocked. And the next one, moving towards the custom aspect of it. Now, importers and exporters may submit an undertaking in lieu of bond till 15th May. So in case you were required to submit the bond, now since they understand that obtaining a bond at this point of time is highly impractical and not possible, so just by giving an undertaking, you can continue your import and export activities. However, once the lockdown is over and assuming that 15th May there is no more extension, then you would be required to submit the bond thereon. And the foreign trade policy, which was supposed to expire on 31st March 2020, has also been extended for a whole 1 year. So whatever import-export rules for the foreign trade were applicable will continue. Now, in an amazing work from the government, and you must commend them, that the custom clearance has decided that they're going to operate 24/7 up to 30th June to ensure, especially in the case of essential commodities, whether the Indian government has to export it or we all have to import it, are not affected. And they have been trying and they're doing a very, very good job. Just to share a recent experience. So one of our clients was finding it difficult to get the shipment cleared because of sudden lockdown situation and he was not sure about certain aspect of the customs. So one of our associate who is a clearinghouse agent and he works closely for all of our clients for any import and export related matters. I connected this our clearinghouse agent to our client, and immediately all the doubts, clarification, everything was done, and even the shipment was cleared on time later on. And then another, in line with the income tax, all pending GST and customs refund have been decided to release. Now this is an even bigger news than income tax. The reason being, here the government has not put any monetary limit. So in case your refund is of 1 lakh rupees or even 1 CR or so on, you are in a position to claim the refund. However, your application should have been pending. That is very important. That is a word, that is a reason. Pending word is very important here, that your application for refund should have been pending. Just 2 weeks back, one of our client calls and informs us, and he was very happy to say that, sir, finally I have received that pending GST refund, which was amounting to rupees 26 lakhs. Now imagine if you are running an MSME or if you are running a little larger size of company and where you get such infusion of cash flow suddenly. The happiness in his voice was very much evident. However, we would again like to repeat that this doesn't happen overnight. We were in continuous touch with the assistant commissioner for this client, and we were regularly sending them mails on a weekly basis telling that we are yet to receive the funds, even though the government has clarified that there will be no more pending for the application. And then finally we were able to get the clearance.